He that answereth a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him.
Your original.
Hollywood pays millions of dollars to cast star actors in movies because they have an audience that will pay money to watch any and all films they are in.
You got it!
We've gotten interviews with Kent Hovind, Joyce Riley, Chuck Baldwin, Roger Adelson, and we've gotten other interviews with
Steven Anderson and Paul Wittenberger, producers of Babylon USA, used the same method Hollywood uses by casting Kent Hovind.
Sure, go ahead and stand, brother, so that everybody, I mean, he's a legend. Everybody knows him. Good to have Brother Baldwin. Thanks for being here. And it's a pleasure.
February 2016, Steven Anderson and Paul Wittenberger flew Kent Hovind to Arizona to interview him for their upcoming movie, knowing full well he was in the middle of going through a divorce. Anderson, who says he is not a respecter of persons,
I'm not going to sit here and play favorites for my friends or people that I like or something. No, that's not right. See, justice is blind.
We're not respecter of persons.
has been known to blindly attack Kent Hovind's family.
Dr. Kent Hovind's wife is in the process of divorcing him right now. I mean, how wicked. Oh, Kent Hovind, yeah. And then they get sucked into his son's false teaching.
He did this based on the assumption that Kent Hovind was telling him the truth about why the Hovind family was being torn apart.
I believe that Dr. Kent Hovind is a brother in Christ.
During the production of Babylon USA, Kent Hovind was lying to Steven Anderson and the public about his family problems.
Curse the whisperer, and double-tongued, for such have destroyed many that were at peace.
Shortly after Steven Anderson interviewed Kent Hovind for Babylon USA, he had his adulteress, Marital, at his home to film her new vaccine videos. Keep in mind, this is while he was still married to Jo Hovind and living under the same roof.
Those of you are criticizing me for marrying Mary because she's divorced for rightful grounds, and I'm divorced because I couldn't stop it. I didn't leave anybody. I didn't divorce anybody. She left me. And by the way, she's a wonderful woman.
During this time, Kent Hovind was manipulating the public like he has always done. Steven Anderson advocated for Kent Hovind's divorce that ended in adultery.
And the thing that gets me upset about it, it's not just because of Kent Hovind's walk with God. You know, that's his business. He says, well, according to 1 Corinthians 7:15, if the wife departs, you're not under bondage, so I'm not under bondage. That's why I'm getting remarried. Hold on a second. That's not what that verse says. You know what that verse actually says? It says, if the unbelieving depart. You just told us that your wife's a wonderful Christian. Now all of a sudden she's an unbeliever departing? And then you're like, oh, I tried everything. I don't know why my wife left me. Hey, your wife left you because of the fact that you didn't try to fix your marriage. Maybe you could try not dating the second wife while you're still married to the first. Now, look, at the time when his wife was divorcing him, I was defending him.
Anderson, whether he likes to admit it or not, is just as much a part of Kent Hovind's sin than he would like to admit.
As free, and not using your liberty for a cloak of maliciousness, but as the servants of God.
Steven Anderson and Paul Wittenberger were confronted numerous times on if they were going to keep Kent Hovind in Babylon USA. Anderson's excuse was, I wanted him out of the movie, but it was Paul's decision. And Paul's excuse was, if we only interviewed people that we agree with 100% of the time, we would interview very few people. Other excuses were, we were running into production problems, and it would have been difficult to edit him out. The fact of the matter is, Anderson and Wittenberger had 9 months to edit out a known pathological liar and adulterer.
This moron right here is never going to let my kids watch Kent Hovind videos again. You want to know why? I don't want my kids to have a role model of somebody who's going to teach them a permissive view on marriage and divorce.
Anderson claims to not be a respecter of persons, but when it comes to something that might benefit him and the congregation, evidence shows the complete opposite.
If someone from the church staff contacts framingtheworld.com and lets them know, hey, we'd like to show this film at our church, then he will send them a free DVD so that they can hold a screening for the film at their church.
From the interview with Kent Hovind in February 2016 to the final edit of Babylon USA in June 2017, that is over a 9-month span of fundraising and post-production video editing, do you think they could have replaced Kent Hovind with a simple voiceover or an interview from a local pastor?
We just got done with a powerful interview with G. Edward Griffin, and so we also went up to Long Beach and got some B-roll of the container ships. And
hey everybody, Pastor Steven Anderson here in Atlanta, Georgia. We're actually on the campus of Emory University, where we just finished up an awesome interview.
This movie, I helped less with this movie than any of the movies.
You did.
Like, I helped way more on New World Order and marching. This one you did mainly on your
came
own.
in a couple times.
To your, to the living pod.
To the living pod and
A couple times.
and helped me.
I helped with editing a couple times, but I wasn't near involved with this one as I was on later movies.
Yeah.
And guess what? It doesn't cost $100 million just to dub in some German voice or, French.
Kent Hovind is in Babylon USA for less than 2 minutes. Watch the following footage and see for yourself if he could have been replaced.
You can't buy without his permission, so there's a financial control of the world. One world currency, probably electronic. We already have paper dollars, which are worthless, except for the cost of the paper. Well, if it's electronic, now you even save the cost of the paper. You don't even have that. So there's going to be a political, a financial, and a religious control, a one-world control of everybody. And we are seeing it all come together rapidly now toward the fulfillment of this prophecy 2,000 years ago, headed for a one-world government, a one-world religion, a one-world currency. Satan's going to be the mastermind behind all of that. The name Babylon seems to come from the Tower of Babel, and we use the word babble like he's a babbling idiot. He's talking incoherently because that's where God confused the languages. In Daniel chapter 2, the king had a dream, and he forgot the dream, and he called his wise guys in and said, "Whoa, tell me what this means." And they said, "Oh, tell us what you dreamed." And he said, "I forgot the dream. Tell me what I dreamed and what it means." And they said, "Oh, king, that ain't fair. Nobody does that." And he said, "I'm going to kill all of you." And so Daniel comes in to the rescue. God gives him the vision. So Daniel told the king what he dreamed and what it means, which is just real clear evidence. This is straight from God. He said, "King, God has revealed it to me. This is what you dreamed, and here's what it means. You saw a giant image. The head was gold, the chest and arms of silver, the belly and thighs of brass, the legs of iron, the feet iron and clay mixed together. Then you saw a stone cut out without hands that smote the image on the feet, crumbled the whole thing to powder, and the wind blew it away. And that stone grew to become a giant mountain." And the king said, "That's right. That's exactly what I dreamed. What does this mean?" And Daniel said, "King, God has just shown you the future of the world." If I was not a Christian and I studied what's coming in this new world order and the government that's coming down on us rapidly, satanic mentality of Babylon, I would rush to the nearest place I could find and get saved. Find a piece of dirt to sit on or kneel down and get next to your couch and say, "Lord, I'm a sinner. Would you save me right now?"
When confronted, Steven Anderson deceitfully said, "I didn't pay Paul a dime. He runs his own business and makes a living as a filmmaker. He is the director-producer, and he makes the decisions. I told Paul that I would like to see Hovind cut out, but he left him in. Paul had every right to leave him in since he paid to bring him out and interview him. And since then, he had already edited all the scenes with Hovind before any of this came out." Now pay close attention. On February 2016, Steven Anderson interviews Kent Hovind for Babylon USA. 7 months later, on September 2016, Steven Anderson exposes Kent Hovind for committing adultery. 8 months later, Steven Anderson sees a rough cut of Babylon USA.
I'm at Paul Wittenberger's house, and I just finished watching his rough edit of the full movie, Babylon USA.
A rough cut is the first draft of an edit, meaning there's plenty of time to fine-tune and edit things out if you need to.
All right, so it's been a little over a year since Babylon USA began filming. So we are totally done with editing.
Steven Anderson said that he wanted to see Kent Hovind cut out of the film. Steven Anderson and Paul Wittenberger had plenty of time to edit Kent Hovind out of the movie. Kent Hovind is at the beginning and end of Babylon USA. Steven Anderson is saying that the movie was already edited by September 2016 when he came out and exposed Kent Hovind for his adultery. Steven Anderson was caught in a lie.
He that walketh uprightly walketh surely, but he that perverteth his ways shall be known.
Steven Anderson is titled as a producer of Babylon USA. A movie producer is someone who oversees development and finances of a film. Anderson was involved in all aspects of the movie, from development to financial.
Paul Wittenberger and I have begun production on our next big project. It's going to be called Babylon USA. This is a professional quality film, and we don't want to rush it because we want to make sure that it's done right.
Anderson was the head honcho when it came to marketing, advertising, and producing the content for the movie. He spearheaded the operation. Anderson may not have physically handed money to Paul Wittenberger to make Babylon USA, but he sure helped in fundraising and asking for donations.
Now, none of these films would have been possible without people donating and helping us with the funding. You know, the reason why these films look so professional is that they do cost a lot of money to make.
If you haven't donated already to help pay for the post-audio, that'd be great if you could make a donation to the film, or you could pre-order the film.
Steven Anderson, on behalf of Paul Wittenberger, is asking people to donate money. He says that they need at least another $15,000 to pay for sound and graphics and other costs to get the film done by the date that they want it to be done by. So here's the link to donate or buy stuff from Paul Wittenberger, and then here's a link to actually donate to Faithful Word Baptist Church. Steven Anderson, to say that he gets no money from all of this is ridiculous. People have been donating to him, donating to Paul. They're all making money on these projects. Just more proof that Steven Anderson is deceiving people when he says he's not involved in paying Paul Wittenberger or he's not involved in the finances. The only way to see Babylon USA sooner is to donate $1,000 or more to the film. Let's break it down. How did Anderson rob Peter to pay Paul? As the pastor and CEO of Faithful Word Baptist Church and the leader of the so-called New Independent Fundamental Baptist Church movement, he asked congregations and followers to donate and finance the film. Let's put it this way. That is like a CEO of a corporation asking the CFO to pay for a business consultant to work on a documentary. The CEO can very deceitfully say he did not pay the consultant.
I never would have had the capability to make films anywhere like these on my own. Okay, it's through Paul Wittenberger's sacrifice of his time that these films have come into existence, is supporting a good cause, because it allows Paul to continue to do what he's doing so that he doesn't have to get a day job. He can just do this full time.
This is the new place, Framing the World headquarters here. Open space right here where we'll be filming, and then we'll have probably all the products stored up here. And this is where the workers will be, the worker.
Anderson and Wittenberger have shown themselves to be very deceitful men. They are hypocrites. The fact of the matter is Steven Anderson and Paul Wittenberger could have taken Kent Hovind out of the Babylon USA movie, but did not do so. Why? Because Kent Hovind was an actor in their movie, and he had an audience that would donate, buy DVDs, and promote a movie that he starred in.
For they that are such serve not our Lord Jesus Christ, but their own belly, and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple.
These deceitful men have been fundraising and selling DVDs for Babylon USA for almost 2.5 years before they put it out on the internet for free. Do you think these men are interested in getting the truth out to the public or filling their bellies?
If you haven't yet seen it, now's your chance to watch it for free. If you already have seen it, please make sure you purchase the DVD, help support us at Framing the World, and help us get this important film out to everyone.
For the 4th of July, it's going to be on YouTube tonight at midnight. You can watch the whole thing for free on YouTube.
Think about this for a moment. Anderson makes a salary as the pastor of Faithful Word Baptist Church. The congregation finances their movies, and at one point sold baseball cards.
So let's open up one of these. Hopefully we get a good rare card, Pastor Anderson rookie card, a Dr. Spergel card.
There is nothing wrong with a man making a living. What it comes down to is the heart. Where is their heart in all of this? Why do they preach and teach one way, but do the opposite?